think the big question that I get is, why don't you just get a TRD Pro? I had the TRD Pro 4Runner, and as much as I think it was a great fit, I always thought to myself, well, the TRD Off-Road Premium probably would have been a good idea because I've changed everything anyway. When it came to the Tundra, the one thing that bothered me most about the TRD Pro was this camo print. I'm calling it a print, I'll show you why. This camo print on a lot of the major pieces. I've never seen a print on a Fender Flare. Usually they're either like a textured black or color matched. And I was a little surprised that the TRD Pro came with it almost looks like a 3D printed piece, even though it's not. And essentially it's almost just like engraved into the plastic. It's literally made like that. It's not a vinyl. It's not, it's not like a 3D printed piece, even though it looks like one. But annoyingly enough, people have found a way to make this work. You have to get this fully sanded down. I'm going to be working with a body shop. They're going to media blast it, sand it down, get it ready for paint, and they're going to use a textured finish, like a SEM trim black. The one difference I noticed is that the TRD Pro comes with a gasket at the edge, which is interesting. I think this gasket needs to be removed for it to be properly painted. I've seen it done with and without, but it's not a big deal, I don't think. I'm gonna give that a shot. The downside is the gasket is molded into the plastic. So the reason why I like these flares is it's really, well, it's OEM, so it's gonna fit right. I'm not fully convinced on the aftermarket flares like the Rough Country and the NY Top flares. NY Top one's maybe a little bit too wide for me. I do have the 35s on with the aftermarket wheels now, and I feel like I need a little bit of extra coverage. This gives me about an inch. Yes, with the refinishing cost, these will cost more money, and I did have to get the wiring harness from Rave Off-Road that'll fit these lights, which I'll show you how that all works in a moment. But super easy to install. The lighting I already did on another local 4Runner. But I think the TRD Pro flares, honestly, they should have come on the Tundras as is. I mean, if you look at the Tacoma, current generation and previous generation, they had larger flares than the Tundra. The Tundra's like just smooth and flush with the body. It's kind of whack, to be honest with you. But these added about an inch. They add the lights, which I think for a lighting guy is pretty crucial. It's gonna look really good. Factory. I think it's gonna look sweet. It's gonna match everything. You got the TRD lights, which will match the marker lights out front, the Raptor lights. And I'll show you how this process goes with the refinishing. Once it's done, the wiring, and show you how it looks on the truck. All right, this gasket that goes in between the Fender Flare and the body is just double side taped on. As far as I know, you can't get a replacement gasket for it. It just comes with the part number, but I'm removing it, hoping to heat it back up. I'm going to put it in in something to protect it so it doesn't get any debris or any stuff on it, any dirt. And I'll attempt to reheat it and try to put it back on once this is repainted to give the same type of factory look. But we'll see how that works out. Okay, the flares are back from the body shop and they came out really good. We'll see how long, how this type of finish lasts, but they basically media blasted it, used a black primer, and sanded a little bit because those are some deep grooves. Check out how it came out though. It looks like a factory black plastic. It doesn't have, has a little bit of a sheen, but it's more of a semi-flat black. And good news, I was able to reseat those gaskets. I had to heat them up a little bit and kind of play with it. It definitely wasn't easy to put on. But yeah, this is the finished result. Next, I'll get a before shot before the flares. Obviously, you guys can look up the way the flares look on any of the TRD Pros. However, we'll get a little bit before. I got some wheel pokage going on, and we'll show you how those look. But you can see textured black plastic, and I think these are going to set it off. Okay, we're going to do a quick before the TRD Pro flares, get an idea of really what the stock flares do. You can see I've got about 2 inches of wheel and tire poking out. And I want to hide that a little bit more. Me personally, I'm more of an OEM Plus kind of guy. I'm not looking for anything too crazy, so that's why I went with the TRD flares. And I think it'll complement it pretty well. As you can see, it's a platinum trim. I think I'm pretty much removing those side pieces that say platinum on it, where it's gloss black, and removing the gloss black fender flares, obviously, since I went with the TRD Pro ones and had them refinished in a semi-flat black. But yeah, you can see there's just no coverage, which is really weird. They don't actually do anything. They're more of a fender surround more than a flare. I don't really think they stick out. And I'll show you how I wire up the new flares. And we'll take this thing to the next level. It's looking really good. But yeah, we'll remove all the things kind of on the exterior that made it into a platinum at this point, except for the rear tailgate. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. Might get the TRD Pro one and just have it refinished. We'll see. But yeah, stay tuned. Get right back with you. Okay, there are a few companies that make harnesses for the TRD marker lights. I saw some of them were like 3D printed. Honestly, these are really good. They're from Rave Off-Road. It's a harness for the front and the rear. Looks like a lot of stuff, but it actually comes for a fuse tab for the front, which I already have the Raptor lights retrofitted on the front end. So we'll just tap into the current wiring essentially. They got nice disconnects, nice connections. And for the rear, it actually includes a plug and play taillight adapter. So the rears will come on with the parking lights or the running lights. The fronts will come on essentially with the switch power. A little bit different, not sure how the factory one runs, but I believe it runs it in a similar fashion. Got the front one on. The rear one is still the gloss, so good time to take a look. I think it looks pretty good. It looks fitting because it matches the TRD grill. So I think all around, I think it's fine. Looks good. Looks really good. Sorry for the strong light, but here it is all wrapped up. Sorry I didn't go into how to wire it up. It's honestly really straightforward. It's 100% plug and play. And I just tied into the front Raptor lights, which are tied into the ignition. I think the gasket worked out really, really well. It was hard to reposition it, but it looks really good. And that running light is sweet. And we just got just a little bit more coverage over those wheel wells, which just makes it look cleaner, less pokey. Obviously it's got a really wide stance with the new setup, but it looks much better now. Let me get to the back here. So again, rear is tied into the parking light, so I have that on right now. Let's see. Again, it's not a huge flare. There are some aftermarket flares that give you a lot more. I was just looking for a little bit of coverage, makes it look original. Still flows with the body. For me, I think I achieved that. I'm satisfied with this. Let me know what you guys think. I think this was a clean, simple mod. You can get these flares color matched. You can get them painted gloss black. I decided against the gloss black. Originally I was thinking about it. I thought I was going to go that route, but again, just wanted to kind of go for a factory look, and trucks are supposed to look kind of rugged, tough, and I think body matched fenders don't give it the same look, and the color match, the gloss black was better when it had more of a platinum spec, but right now it's looking a lot more like a TRD kind of spec and off-road. So I think it looks good. Again, let me know what you think. Go from there. Thanks again, guys.